Hello everyone, welcome to CLD315 Creative Arts 2, Week 10, November 14 and 15. This is actually going to be a pretty short lecture today since we're really just prepping you to do the work you've got to do. So let's see how that goes and how long it will take. So it's a short class. There's no more academic content for me to deliver. It's already been delivered. You've got everything. This is the last time you're going to be doing your professional practice assignment video this week. So I'll be marking them as soon as I can after they're all submitted. And the practice activities are really going to be on what you've already got in your skills acquisition assignment. So you're really just going to be practicing for that assignment as this one. Double dipping, but that's fine. I need you to practice, so I want you to practice, and this is the way to do it. I'll also be talking about preparation for the quiz next week, and then a few comments on preparing for the skills acquisition assignments, just sort of following up to what I said last week. Nothing really new there, but we'll see how it goes. So, the agenda for next week is that there's no video lecture. The quiz will start at the beginning of class at 3:10 p.m. and run for 100 minutes. Then after that, you should be practicing for your skills acquisition assignment. And then I will be in as usual for Zoom for the last hour of class. But again, you can send me emails anytime and I'll do my best to get back to you ASAP. Week 12, same thing. It's our last class, but there's no video lecture. I want you to spend the entire 3 hours working on your skills acquisition assignment. I'm giving you all of this class time to ensure that there's no situation where you could say, because of work or because of travel or because of family issues, I didn't have time to practice. You have time to practice. You're literally going to have 10 hours that you could be practicing, 20 hours you could be practicing for this assignment. It's a major assignment, and the expectations are high. And you've already gotten the feedback from the midterm, and so you can take that feedback and focus on building the skills and seeing how that works. Now, after week 12, I will be doing my own admin, marking, and work. So I'm not available after the last class. Now, if you've got an email related to evaluation of submitted work, if you're going to appeal something like that, of course, contact me. But I don't have any time for just casual meetings or to discuss certain things because I'm backed up with work up to here, like you guys are. But since the course comes first, I've had to push everything aside. Then I've got a pile of work I've got to do after that. So please be aware of this. So, quiz prep. Charlene and I have been going back and forth in emails in a fury all day today, and we've come up with basically the equalness of there's going to be 100 questions on the final quiz in terms of marks. So, the way I'm organizing it is there's going to be 90 multiple choice or true-false match-up questions, half from the first course, half from the second course. Included with that will be four short answered questions worth a total of 10 marks. So it's equal to 100 questions of 1 mark each, like you did before, but there's going to be 4 short answers. I'm not sure how many Charlene's doing, but basically it doesn't matter because you're either going to have questions in one format, questions in another format. Multiple choice and stuff are worth 1 mark each. These short answers, 2 of them are worth 3 marks, 2 of them are worth 2 marks. So there will be a 100-minute soft cutoff on the quiz, which means that if you're writing the quiz and you go over that 100 minutes, it won't kick you out, but it will flag your question, the last question you did as over time. That's useful for me this time because I noticed somebody answered a question and they were like 4 seconds over. I'm not going to penalize you for that. It's more than 1 minute over. Yeah, I'm not going to include it. But, that it gives a little bit of leeway there. Anybody with accommodations, again, has to book them with me in advance. Request them. Most of you realize you don't need the extra time. So, anyway. You also, and this is very important, have to start the quiz within 10 minutes of the start of the quiz. If you don't do that because you're late, and you just don't start it, you can't write the quiz. And that's a legitimate thing I'm allowed to do. There's real reasons for that. Anyway, make sure you're ready and are prepped and in a place where the internet's going to crash. not going to crash. You're going to be in a place where your laptop is not going to die because you've restarted it, you've taken care of it, you've backed it up, it's in good shape. Also, make sure it's power, all that sort of thing. So preparing for a quiz is just like preparing for an exam. You've got to be prepared to do it and get yourself ready for it. So plan on that one, please. I don't want anybody to get into trouble for that sort of thing. Don't get stuck in traffic. Don't try and rush home and get there to do it. Make sure you're ready an hour before. You've got everything ready. You don't sort of just rush into a major quiz like this. Now, I want to just talk about some of the problems people had with the midterm quiz, and I think this is duplicate, but it's I probably already mentioned this, but it's worth mentioning again. So the trick is you can't just choose the answer that looks the best, but isn't the best on reflection. The answers are based on what's in the reading and lecture and become clear on reflection. So you've not got a lot of time. So you got to read the question, think about the question, and say, oh, does that really make sense in terms of what I've read? Not versus your first possible answer. This one here, providing music classes to all high school students, regardless of their elementary or middle school, junior high experiences, creates equal access for all students. Sounds good, but it's not true. Because, as we knew from the research we studied in the course, children with early years experience have an unfair advantage, just like students who have private lessons. So it doesn't create equal access for all. It's a big problem. So if any of you have studied music in high school but didn't have any music before that, you realize some people are just way ahead of you, and you may get better, but they just get better faster and faster because they've had the practice. Again, singing is a highly gendered activity in early childhood. That was a question from before some people got wrong. No. Now, adults may restrict children's singing, but children sing about the same regardless of gender in early childhood unless somebody stops them. And this is according to the article. You may say, well, in my experience, your experience is valid, but we're asking what's in the article. So, questions can be answered with some critical reflection and some classroom experience, even if you didn't read the article. But the answer is based on the article, so that's what we're really looking for. Again, if you forgot or didn't read the article, then do your best guess. You got a chance. So, I'm not saying guessing's wrong, but guessing is going to be less successful than reflection might be, or having read the articles. Now, some of the difficult questions that trip people up. One of the videos we watched, Beethoven, Haydn, and Mozart are depicted as being dead white European males. No, they are, but they're not depicted as that. Associated with the slave trade, it says so explicitly. Composers who are talented and tried hard? They probably were. Examples of cultural hegemony? Yeah, they were. But that's not what the the video talks about. It talks about that association with the slave trade. I don't know what that DDD is doing in the middle of that, but I'll just leave it there. Singing is widely believed by music education experts to be a talent that many people possess. Don't know. A learned skill most efficiently learned in the teenage years. Doubt that, because I don't see a lot of teenagers singing. A skill learned easily through life. A talent that many people do not possess. Nah, anyone can sing. See, it doesn't say good singing. A skill most efficiently learned in childhood. As with everything, if you learn it in childhood, it's more likely to stick with you. We know that with just about everything. So if you didn't read the article, you'd say, well, children do learn everything in childhood. That's why they talk about development and developmentalism so much. Other difficult questions. According to People for Education, arts-based education is underfunded and requires fundraising. Who benefits most from fundraising for the arts? Children in small schools, children from low socioeconomic backgrounds, all children, children in large schools, children from high socioeconomic backgrounds. Why? Well, because children have high SES parents who have high SES salaries. They also tend to have more time because they have one job and probably have a nice car or two so they can drive around, aren't stuck on public transit. So fundraising to support the arts only really supports the rich people to get more. So that's why we should have regular funding for everybody that's not based on fundraising. Okay. According to People for Education, rural schools are less likely to have specialist drama, visual arts, and music teachers or specialized arts learning spaces. Why? Difficult to get qualified teachers to move to small communities. Rural schools have students from low socioeconomic backgrounds. Parents of children in rural schools are less educated. Teachers get paid less to teach in rural schools. The other three just aren't true. Rural parents can be more educated, have more money, and teachers get paid the same pretty much in Ontario, and it's cheaper to live out there. So every indication should mean that it's easier to get arts teachers out there, but that's not the case. It's difficult to get qualified teachers to move to small communities. If I'd known that, I would have become an arts teacher and got a job in a small community. But I'm stuck here. Again, oh, that's a repeat, sorry. Bottom one. In Foley, the Foley video of music and life in a small town in Guyana, West Africa, we see that children in this culture are observers of music, but only adults create it. Saw children playing drums. In order for children to create good music, quality instruments must be available to them. Saw them using tin cans and stuff. None of the examples are correct, doesn't fit. Rhythms are taught by adults to children. That's a tricky one, right? You didn't actually see rhythms being taught by adults to children, but they make it clear that rhythm is part of everything they do. So they're taught through all of the practices, the cooking practices, the walking practices, the carrying practices, the clothes cleaning practices. And we know children are watching them because they are mimicking them in some of their activities, including the drumming. So it's there. That's why I said we see that this. They didn't quite tell us. Yeah, it's tricky, but that's what being in fourth year is all about, understanding tricky stuff. So, short answers, because you haven't answered any short answer questions from me yet. Let's look at that. So we're using a test bank of questions that's similar to what we use in previous years, and I've got hundreds of questions in there, and Charlene does too. And so we're going through right now, pulling out and throwing out all the old questions we don't like, putting in the new questions that we want, which we're writing right now, and then we select which questions will go in each of our sections. So we've got 4 sections, 2 of them each. Charlene's questions will be slightly different than my questions. We're not using the same test bank because you guys studied stuff differently in this class than in the other class. There's going to be that difference. And some are going to be exactly the same because we covered the same stuff. The wording might be different because we decide to word them differently. But the content's basically going to be the same. And here's a question for the, short answer, or 2 to 3 marks. Describe one specific thing you found in the Smithsonian Folkways Tools for Teaching site that you can incorporate into your creative arts practice. That's a tough question, and it's very often answered poorly because people say, oh, I found this on the website and I'm going to expose my children to music from Russia. You're lucky if that'll get you a half a mark or 0. That's not incorporating it into your creative arts practice. That's just dumping content on people. That's the lowest level of teaching. Exposure to creative practice. No, how are you actually going to do it? You've been working in the field. You already know how to teach. You are really all teachers. Some of you are already RECEs. A lot of you are applying to Teachers College already. So how are you going to actually do it? What are you really going to do? If you're just going to show them something, we don't need a teacher for that. If you're going to show them a video, show them a website, that's not teaching. How are you going to teach it? What pedagogical approach are you going to have? What tools and technologies? What are they going to learn from it? What are your outcomes? What are your outcomes? What are your goals? What are your how it fit in with your curriculum and pedagogy? It's a short question, but like I can answer that in 2 or 3 sentences. There you go. There's one. And, oh yeah. Now, the quiz prep topics, you're probably going to want to stop and screen grab all this stuff. This is the stuff, this is not inclusive, but this is stuff that I went through and found that's important. Elements of music, do you know them? Topics we talked about, listening, music, social development, more topics of creativity and genius, creative musical play, performance issues, the Ingold stuff on thinking through making, the skill areas I can ask you questions about, terms and concepts, yep, tuning, tutting, chords and chord progressions, yep, it's all there. So those are the questions I'm going to be pulling questions from. And I think that's it for quiz prep, which is amazing. It's like we've been 20 minutes. This is going to be a real short class here today, I can tell. So your final professional practices today, like I said, spend an hour doing each of these activities in an equal amount of time. Don't just do them for the 1 or 2 minutes. You have to practice. It's so obvious when people haven't been practicing. If I said your drumming has problems, go back and watch that some of the drumming videos. They're in D2L to how to keep and maintain a rhythm. Remember that guy, the gentleman who was doing the West African drumming. He was vocalizing, he was moving his body, and he was hitting the drums, and he wasn't, like I said last time, going like this. Tit, 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 tit. He was going da 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 da. He kept it, sustained it for a period of time. To know that you can go, and then you change the next page. 0, showing that you can maintain a solid rhythm without speeding up and slowing down, following with your verbalizations, that you can use your multimodal sense to keep a beat. And if you're using a metronome, and your metronome's going, and you're going, speeding up and slowing down, you're not following your metronome. If you're following it, if you've got a beat that's going da 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 da, you see how I'm actually maintaining it with the beat of the pinging metronome. So you're showing me that you can actually do a rhythm, but also maintain the rhythm. And so some of you, oh, other thing, remember when the book, where's that book? There it is. Some people got into trouble with a few things, and this is going to come up. So you want you to pay attention to it. Where's the tippy? 142, moving sound. Yeah. A lot of people didn't seem to understand what it was like to be using the sounds and shapes together. It means that you didn't read this page of how to use each section. So you didn't realize, because it tells you everything you need to do. But where it says here, Luo lolly lolly, luo lolly lolly. Don't forget, you have to do, you don't have to say luo, luo, lolly lolly. Each one is telling you what to do. So you've got a luo, lolly lolly, luo, lolly lolly, luo, lolly lolly. So luo, each part of the sentence, each syllable has meaning. So you have to show me that you get that meaning by doing it. Where's the ones? Okay. Now, other thing to remember, that is one rhythm. One rhythm. It's not 2 rhythms, it's one rhythm. So, tippy, 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 tap. That could be done. Tippy, 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 tap. Pause. Tippy, 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 tip. Well, actually, that would be most accurately. Tippy, 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 tap, pop. Tippy, 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 tap. Or, I'd accept that one. Tippy, 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 tap. Pause. Tippy, 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 tap. Tap. Pause. So that one page ideally should be done. Tippy, 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 tap. Pause. So that's how you should be doing it. Tip. If it was a tip tip, then maybe tip tip, tip tip tippy. But if it's two things, two sounds, alternate hands. Some of again, and when you're drumming, sure you can hit the side of something if you want. That's allowing me to do it with one hand because I'm holding something. But if I had it down, I could be still doing it. You can't see this. That doesn't sound any good. Don't unnecessarily hit something unless it's doing something. There. If you need it, because it sounds different, but not unnecessarily. I'm very happy if you just show the rhythms with your two hands or your two sticks. If you really want to get good marks, do some with your hands and do some with your sticks, since there's multiple ones to do. Oh, where's that other one with the snakes and layers of sound? I should have pulled these all out at the beginning, but sorry I didn't. Couple things to remember, that a big ball... I can't see that. Oh, yeah. That's showing me the volume. It's a ball. Yeah, articulate it. Says so in the book. So, big sound, small, small, big, big, small, 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 big-ish a bit, small, small, big, middle size. Now, these are separate ones, so you can see. But think of it. So, with this one, up, pitch goes up. Up. I went up here, but when I went down here, I didn't go all the way down to the bottom. I went close. And went up here, I didn't go all the way up to the top, because that's hot top. And so I'm spiraling in on something. Take some practice. So, think about what you're doing. If you use a metronome, I recommend it for everything, because you don't have to, but it'll keep you on the beat if you listen to it. Now, of course, if you're off the beat, I'll also notice, but that'll require you to practice. If you're using the metronome while you're doing body beats, great, it'll keep you going, because it'll have that. So, I would like you to articulate things the same way as you see in the video. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It'll help you remember how to do it. But also, if it's multimodal, if you've got a click track and you're moving your body and you're speaking, that means you're using all parts of your body. You're listening, you're seeing, you're thinking, you're talking, and you're moving. Excuse me. So what you're actually doing is using multimodal learning to keep the whole thing going. And again, other thing is important. If it says do something for 2 minutes, do it for 2 minutes. If you played something fast and you still got 15 seconds left, play it again. You can go over by a little bit, but you can't go under. The 2 minutes or the time limit is there for a reason, because it's proving to me that you can sustain an activity over time. That's why you can't cut things up. You have to sustain it for that period of time. Because if you can't sustain singing or playing a tin whistle for a minute or for the length of the song, then you're not showing me that you can do it with kids. Tin whistle thing again. I've told you guys a lot of times. One, warm it up. 2, your fingers, top finger, next finger, next finger, next finger, next finger, next finger. Not, you never move them. Never move them. You never move them. You never move them. Make sure your finger's a little bit wet. You can blow on them if you have to. So you're making a nice seal. Don't blow too hard. Because I'm talking right now. If I start going in right now, no, it doesn't work. That might get you a B, but it's not getting you an A range. Why? One, I said go slower, use a metronome. But I said tongue it. Ta, ta, ta. If you can't do that, you're not tonguing the note, so you will not get a crisp note. And the idea is that your fingers move at the same time. Starting now. Now, that would be great. That some of you are playing have better tone than me. That's fine. What if you notice I'm going 1, do, re, mi, fa, so. You notice I put this finger here? So, la, ti, do, do, and then back down. Do, ta, di, da, bum, 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 bum. Don't skip anything. It's hard to do watching myself in the screen. If you notice, this finger can stay on this thing anytime because it doesn't make a difference. Watch. See, as long as these two holes are open, you can put your finger back there to hold it, if you need to. Technically, you shouldn't have to, because you can just rest. It's resting on 3 points, your thumbs and your tongue. You don't need it. But if you want it, you can do it. But that's how it goes. If you're blowing too hard, you're going to start up here. It's okay, but it's way harder to do to play the upper register than the lower. And the lower one is the one where you blow slow. There's 3 notes there depending on how hard you blow. But if you skip the top notes, or don't go up to the top notes, or don't do it exactly like this, slower of course, you're not going to get a good mark. You had lots of time to practice, lots of time to come in for help, so there's no sort of, well, I tried hard. No, you try hard and practice to succeed. Practice the songs, the same thing. I've given you tabs on how to play the songs, and I've played them for you. So don't forget how to play those songs. And if you aren't sure, listen to them. Somebody else play them. So it's there. The expectations are there. It's a big part of your mark. I'm giving you lots of time in class to practice, so the expectations are high. They're actually lower than in the past. Don't forget, I used to make you play way more chords on a guitar and had to do 2 octaves on the tin whistle. But we learned, and we've stripped it down a bit. So in a sense, one of the reasons our expectations are so high that you do it right is because we used to require you to do a lot more, and we said, you don't need that for early years practice, so we switched down to the 4 chords. 4 chords. A couple of things I'm noticing is some people haven't been really practicing the strumming, thinking about the strumming. Some people are strumming with their thumb, and that's fine. It's harder though, and you're not really going to be on the beat. Finger, thumb, finger, thumb, finger, thumb. Now, down, down, up, down, down, up, if that's what you're doing. Down, so it doesn't matter, whatever we tell you to do. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, if that's what it is. But I tend to be lazy, so I do finger, back of my finger, back of my thumb. And I like it. And I'm good enough, that's good enough for class, so it's not proper. But proper is having your fingers pinched together. So they're sort of offbeat. You can find a video to see how to do it. I don't like it. But as long as you can do that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. Now, if it's down, down, up, down, 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 up, let's say down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down. Well, actually, we've also got the so the expectation. When you're doing the song, you can do whatever you want, because if the song fits better to go or just whatever the song is. But when we're asking you to practice, we need all 4 chords with, if it says down, down, up, down, then you change chords. Down, down, up, down, down, down. So you go slower. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up. Miss this one. Down, down, up, down. So teaching and doing it at the same time is more difficult, so I'm more sympathetic. You can practice it for an hour in front of the video until you get it right once for that song, and you can use it. Each activity can be edited together. So if you're doing your chord sequence, fine. Doing your song, fine. Your drumming, fine. All your drumming. So, I want you to show that you can do each of these things separately and sustain them, and that you've practiced. Yes, there will be some minor squeaks, but if they're the type of minor squeaks and minor screw-ups like I do when I'm talking to you and showing you stuff, that's fine. If you go down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, then you're not really showing me that you've been practicing very much. Now, again, go slow. Down, down, up, down, down, down. In the same beat. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down. That's it. Now, did you notice that my ukulele is out of tune? Probably not, because it's pretty close. It still sounds like a chord. But if your ukulele sounds like this, I'm not giving you any marks. None. Because you then can't perform with children. You've got to tune it. And I've showed you how to get ukulele tuners, lots of them. So I just did it by ear because I knew this one hadn't gone out of tune. But if not, you just go and pull up one of those websites for ukulele tuners and get it tuned right. You can tell the difference between And some of the ukulele tuners will even show you a meter where it'll tell you how close you are. But that's something you had a chance to learn about all terms. So if you haven't done it until now, yes, you're getting a whole bunch of work dumped on you. But there you are. So, you have all the instructions. Practicing will get you a better mark. Taking slightly harder songs will get you a better mark. I'll give you some harder songs, but doing a simple song well is great. Again, don't worry about minor problems. If it looks like you're practicing and have got it and you fluff something for a second, that's just life, so we're not really worried about that. But does it look like you've got some basic competencies? When we look at children's practice and how they're doing, we talk about their competencies. If you're not competent, how can I give you an excellent mark? If you're not competent to do something, how can I give you a good mark? Doesn't matter how much you practice. If you're just barely competent, you'll get a barely competent mark, which will be satisfactory. Yeah, okay. Versus, yeah, you got it. Versus, yeah, that was great. That's how I'm evaluating things. Now, information's up there about the video format. Same video formats you've already used, so that won't be a problem. You can edit the good parts together, but you cannot edit playing the tin whistle up and then edit tin whistle down. No. Have to be able to do each segment for the fixed period of time. If you've obviously got to change a book page to look at, yeah, those ones could be broken up. But you can't put two parts of a song together, that sort of thing. 2 GB strict file limit. Some of you put filters on, and I said you could, but please don't. I think it might hurt your evaluation. I try not to, because if I can't see your lips moving, and I can't see your fingering or stuff, I can't know whether that's an error that I should be deducting marks for or just an unfortunate slip up. Some of you are very happy with just showing your waist to shoulders part of your body. I would rather you stand back so I can see you and watch you do the body beats. If you don't want to be looking straight eye contact, you can turn sideways. I don't care. I can hear you doing it. And again, if I can hear you doing it, that's easy. If I can only see a little part of your body, but I can't see your feet moving and can't hear your feet moving because you're wearing slippers on a carpet, yeah, that's going to negatively affect evaluation. So plan for that. Make sure I can see and hear as much of it as you want for me to do. If you can't stand far enough back for me to see your face when you're doing part of it, then make sure I can really hear you by articulating. But I have to be able to see as much of you that I need to be able to give a good evaluation. And I think most of you have done that well, but some of you have just sort of forgotten. Oh yeah, final one. Do not stick your drum up around your nose. No teacher on any video has a drum up this high and are hitting drumsticks like this. They're all down on their lap or below because you have to be able to hit. That's why drums are held low, so you can whack on things. So think about that as well. Can't think of any. Oh, there is some more stuff on the next screen. Let's go see where we go in that. So, lessons from midterm, check in for the final, use a metronome. Again, 60 beats per minute means that you're going the same, that's 1 minute, 60 beats. And you can play it at the slow beat. The slower the beat means it's sometimes easier to play. So think about that. But again, if you've got a click-clock metronome, make sure you're going click-clock, click-clock, tick-clock, click-click. They're going together, right? So that your sounds you're making and the metronome go together. Don't have to use one, but it makes sense. So sing the total amount of time. Play the tin whistle the total amount of time. If you play, as I said, with a tin whistle, I suggested that at 60 beats per minute, you could play it. It takes, I don't know, whatever I said, like a fixed amount of time to do it. So you play do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, la, di, bum, bim, bum, I forget them. So that's 15. So if you play that at 1 do, re, at 60 beats per minute, it takes 15 seconds to do it. So you can actually plan things out to make sure you're not playing things too short or too fast or that sort of thing. Sing, talk, dance, the total amount of time. I check. I count. So think about that. Again, because we've decided on a fixed time, and that's how we've decided on. I could have made it longer. I can't make it shorter. That's why, because there's really not enough time for me to know whether you've got any competency in the skills. Now, this is, I forgot I made slides for this. So, everything's there. So, if it says to play the scale twice, like it does in the final quiz, do it twice. And the final assignment, do it twice. Don't stop and cut the thing out. Play it twice to show you can play it twice. Don't play it so slow. One of the problems with drumming, I noticed, was some people were drumming like this. But if you watched any of the drummings that we showed you, we weren't doing like that. It was doing it at a steady rhythm. So, if it's so slow that we can't really be sure what the rhythm is, then it's too slow. Seriously, if you go like this. I don't even remember what the rhythm is. It has to be close enough that we can actually remember what's going on. So think about that. Drumming, alternating hands, no extra spaces between the rhythms. They go across 2 pages, vocalize them. Like I said, tippy is 2 hits. Tap is a hit and a pause. Body beats vocalize, and you should not be watching any videos. If you're watching a video, now, if you're playing your tin whistle and you've got the score up on your screen and you're looking at it, and you're still looking at me, but you've got something stuck on the screen there, and it looks like you're like this. I'm actually not looking at you. I'm looking slightly off, and that's close enough. I can see that you may not even be able to tell. So, you have to have the appearance of looking forward. And so, if it looks like you're listening to something, no marks. If it looks like you're copying a video, no marks. If it looks like you're reading a score or reading something from the book, fine. That's okay. Don't have to memorize those ones. Or you're reading the tabs for playing the song you're going to do. You might have that stuck up to the side of your screen there. If you're just singing Take Me Home Country Road, you might have the lyrics there and the stuff. But again, you're still trying to be able to play and move, so you probably should practice it well enough to be able to play with kids. I think, yeah. Singing, I already said this. Size of the ball, snake, ball voiced. Each 2-page panel is 1 segment. When it goes across 2 for that sort of stuff, you can tell that's 2, right? You can tell that those aren't the same. If you're not sure, go to How to Use This Book at the front of each section. What's left? Some more comments. Here's how I'm evaluating stuff. Excellent evaluation is based on the evidence you're ready to be hired as an early years music educator or arts educator, professional and practice. Yeah, I'd hire you to do it. Good evaluation. You're okay to do it with children, but you probably aren't going to run a whole course or class on it. Satisfactory is that you're not ready yet, but with a little more work you could be. Poor evaluation is that you really don't look like you've gotten to the point where you should in this course. If your ukulele's not tuned, if you can't play, have got your fingers all in the wrong place, and you're not even all over the place, you're not even close. That's going to get you a poor evaluation. So I think everybody, with the support we've given you up till now, and the fact that you're given a lot of class time to practice, no readings for the last couple of weeks, 3 weeks, you've got time. And if you're not willing to take the time to do it, I respect that. That's your choice. But it's going to hurt your evaluation. You've literally are going to have at least 6 hours of class time to practice on this. And if you don't put in the 6 hours, you're going to come out sounding poor or maybe satisfactory. If you are putting in that 6 hours and more, because this is not, like I'm giving you that plus you're expected to do more work. If I was going to expect an excellent mark on this, I'd be putting in 6 hours, 2 hours each week. Plus I'd be putting in a lot more time. And I would get an A+ on it. Even if I started where some of you are right now, where you've got a rather poor evaluation, because it doesn't take that much time, it just takes the attention and practice. And I think that's actually it. So, Porky Pig says, that's all, folks. So I wish you, I'm going to say have a great holiday, because even though it's like, get a couple more weeks, but this is the last time I'm going to see you like this. So I wish you all the best. I know you can do the best. I will be as supportive and lenient and available as I possibly can be, and the rest is up to you. So good luck.